to the Top 10er show. I'm Liv.
And I'm James. Today, Liv and we're going to talk about the top 10 games on the best console of all time. Well, maybe not all time. I'm going to die on that hill. The PlayStation 5.
Of this generation, it's certainly mine. So let's dive into it. Kicking off our list at the 10th spot is Sackboy, A Big Adventure, which was developed by Sumo Digital. It's a spin-off game from the Little Big Planet series. Instead of the previous 2.5D platformer style, now it's 3D. Craft World is in peril. Vex is trying to enslave the Sack people to make his topsy-turvy machine to take over Craft World. We can't have that. It's your job to stop this tragedy from happening. For the most part, you could play Sackboy alone, but it's better with friends. You could play either local co-op or online multiplayer. There are additional levels that require another player in order to play it, but you can enjoy the main story of Sackboy on your own if that's more your speed. Have you perfected the gameplay of Sackboy? Then try your luck with the time trial challenges. If you have friends who also play, your score will be displayed on the leaderboards with them. I may not be the best at the time trials, but they're still fun to play. I love the customization options in Sackboy as well. There are so many outfits and accessories you can mix and match. You can also equip various emotes, which is something I've always enjoyed using in games. There's so much to enjoy in the world of Sackboy.
At our number 9 spot, developed by Insomniac Games, we have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart bursts with creativity, launching players into a dazzling universe where you get to hop through dimensions with ease. One moment you're fighting enemies in a vibrant city, the next you're zooming through space. The game's dimension hopping mechanic isn't just innovative, it's the star of the show, blending worlds in chaotic, colorful splendor. Ratchet and Clank return with an arsenal that would make any gadget lover swoon. The weaponry is delightfully absurd, turning combat into a spectacle of humor and mayhem. Enemies might transform into retro 8-bit versions of themselves, or dance uncontrollably mid-fight thanks to a disco ball bomb. The game's humor shines with clever quips and playful puns, making every battle feel like a scene from a very lively cartoon. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a thrilling ride, perfect for those who enjoy a blend of comedy and action. Watch out for those dimension jumps though, they're quite the adventure. This game is a wonderful ride from start to finish and is definitely a must-have for anyone who is a fan of zany, out-of-this-world platforming action.
At number 8, we've selected Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. This game was also developed by Insomniac Games, and honestly, they've perfected the superhero gameplay model. Miles Morales is a shorter game compared to the previous entry of Spider-Man series. The focus of this game revolves around Miles' struggle to balance his life as a civilian with his role as the second Spider-Man. It's the Spider-Verse, after all, and thank God for that, because Roxxon Energy Corporation and the Underground are at war in this fictional version of Harlem. Insomniac Games has perfected Spider-Man's fluid animations when it comes to the gameplay. Use the environment to your advantage and chain attacks to really see what the hype is all about. You'll be impressed with this gameplay for sure. With AAA games taking years to develop these days, Miles Morales serves as the perfect size game to fill the time in between them.
Coming in at number 7 on our list, we have Astro's Playroom, the pack-in game developed by Team Asobi to show off what the PlayStation 5 and that amazing controller can do. Astro's Playroom is essentially a surprise party thrown by your PlayStation 5, celebrating everything that makes the console a blast. Right out the gate, it's a whimsical journey through the very innards of your PlayStation 5 with Astro, this adorably charming robot, as your guide. The game is essentially a love letter to PlayStation fans, packed with nostalgic Easter eggs and nods to the console's history that will have enthusiasts grinning from ear to ear. It even has Kratos and Atreus on a boat, and he's just saying, boy. If that's not adorable, I don't know what is. Each level is a playground of tactile wonders, from feeling the pitter-patter of raindrops to experiencing the tension of a bowstring through the controller's adaptive triggers. Heck, you even have to blow on it. It is insane. It's like discovering video gaming for the first time again, and that's what makes this so much fun. The graphics are crisp and lively, turning what could have just been a tech demo into a vibrant, engaging game that's hard to put down. Whether you're surfing on a CPU cooler or climbing through tangled cables, Astro's Playroom makes every moment fun and every interaction a delightful surprise. It's not just a game, it's the perfect introduction to what your PlayStation 5 can do, all while being irresistibly fun.
Number 6 on our list is an Arrowhead Studios game, Helldivers 2. This is a live service game that's done right. This is a multiplayer game that does not have a dedicated single-player campaign. Helldivers 2 takes place a century after the first game on Super Earth. Your job as a Helldiver is to protect Super Earth from the hostile enemies such as Termins, Cyborgs, Illuminates, and Automatons. Termins drop valuable resources called Ps5 so naturally, Super Earth locks them into farms to maintain a steady supply. But now they're escaping. This is where you are needed, fellow Helldiver. Helldivers 2 is a global game encompassing time-sensitive events that will shape the story of the game moving forward. Players around the world will need to work together to complete these goals. Otherwise, the galactic map will reset. Don't worry, the game doesn't end automatically. If you're looking for a live service game that has exceptional environmental storytelling, then Helldivers 2 is for you. At number 5, we have Returnal, which is developed by Housemarque. Returnal was the very first roguelike game that I played, and it honestly hooked me on the genre. I checked out this game because the gameplay gave me Control vibes, which is one of my favorite games ever, but I'm sure we will talk about Control another time. You play as Celine, who tries to escape an alien planet. Once you die, you have to restart and you lose all of your items and weapons you've acquired during your last run. I thought this would discourage me, but I was pleasantly surprised instead. This game has one of the best uses of the PS5 haptic feedback on the controller, which I believe hasn't been utilized enough in other games. You can feel the rain on the controller, and it really adds a lot of immersion to the game. Post-launch, they've added an online co-op mode so you can play through the game with a friend. I will add that this should be for when you've beaten the game on your own, because you don't get to go through those house sequences that add to the context of the story. Housemarque also added the Tower of Sisyphus, which is an endless tower mode to see how many levels you can complete without dying. Once you meet your demise, you will see your score and where you rank on the leaderboard. There's also new story elements in this mode, so you better go check it out. Returnal is getting a graphic novel adaptation, which I can't wait to read later this year. Hopefully there's a sequel in our future, as I cannot get enough of this game.
Taking our number 4 spot this week, developed by Shift Up, is a game that just recently released, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is a thrilling ride into a post-apocalyptic world that's as beautiful as it is dangerous. Imagine stepping into the shoes of a fierce warrior named Eve, tasked with saving humanity. The game's setting, Zion, is a blend of crumbling ruins and lush, overgrown nature, which creates a beautiful backdrop that's not just a place to explore, but a character in its own right. And other games can take a lot of notice from this because this is how you build a world. What will really hook you, though, in Stellar Blade is the combat system. It's fluid, fast, and requires more than just button mashing to master. Each encounter is going to feel like a dance where timing and strategy fuse with supernatural abilities to break through enemy defenses. And let's not forget about the visuals. They are gorgeous, and that is an understatement. The PlayStation 5 flexes its muscles here, delivering breathtaking landscapes and detailed character animations that make every moment of exploration and combat a feast for your eyes. Whether you're unraveling the mysteries of Zion, upgrading your skills, or just enjoying the cinematic cutscenes, Stellar Blade offers a compelling blend of story and action that is really, really hard to put down. Get ready to lose yourself in a world where beauty and peril intertwine and every corner holds a new challenge. At number 3, we have the latest and arguably one of the best entries in its series, God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok isn't just a game, it's an epic saga that unfolds with the weight of a thunderous blow from Thor's hammer. As you step back into those well-worn boots of Kratos, now way more grizzled and wise, you're not just going on another adventure, you're diving headfirst into the icy, myth-laden realms of Norse legend. This game is a masterpiece of storytelling, weaving complex narratives with the kind of father-son dynamics that would make even Odin pause for thought. Kratos and Atreus' journey through the Nine Realms is more than just a quest. It's a path to understanding packed with emotional depth rarely seen in games and the occasional clash of divine temperaments. Combat in Ragnarok is as satisfying as splitting an enemy shield with the Leviathan axe. It's visceral, strategic, and beautifully brutal. With the PS5's capabilities, every swing, smash, and summon looks and feels incredibly impactful, enhanced by the jaw-dropping visuals and the kind of detailed environments that make every scene worthy of the gods. God of War Ragnarok isn't just playing a game, it's you experiencing a myth. It's a blend of fierce battles, breathtaking worlds, and storytelling that grips you like the jaws of Fenrir. So ready your axe and steady your heart. Ragnarok awaits, and it does not disappoint.
Just outside of the number one spot this week, we have Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. This wonderful game was developed by Guerrilla Games. If you're unfamiliar with the Horizon franchise, it's essentially what could happen to the world if the robots took over. To make matters worse, what if you also lost all recorded history and knowledge of those who lived before you? The discrepancy between advanced robots and the people living in distinctive tribes really makes Horizon feel unique. The lore in this game is also incredible. Through interacting with others, reading logs, listening to audio files, and exploring the world, you will experience everything Horizon has to offer. Horizon Forbidden West was an upgrade in every single way when compared to Horizon Zero Dawn, which I also love, by the way. The tribes feel more distinctive. Their culture and architecture vary depending on which settlement you visit. My biggest gripe with the first game was that many of the settlements felt the same. Aside from Meridian, of course. Aloy takes an incredible step forward in her character development, and that makes her even more personable. If you haven't played the DLC, Burning Shores, be sure to pick that up too, as that is very much worth it. The third game is likely in development. There are comics you can read too. There is also a TV show in the works as well. If you're a fan of Horizon, the future's looking bright for us.
Now, taking our number one spot this week, we have none other than the Titan, Final Fantasy XVI. This latest entry in the storied franchise burst onto the gaming scene, transporting players to Valisthea, a world steeped in crystal-powered majesty and dark prophecies. The game introduces a mature, intricate narrative that follows Clive Rossfield, a character whose tragic journey from protector to avenger is as complex as the game's richly crafted world. With its shift to real-time combat, the game offers a visceral, strategic fighting experience that demands quick thinking and swift action, making each battle a thrilling test of prowess. Some people like it, some people don't. You have to experience that for yourself. Graphically, Final Fantasy XVI is a visual masterpiece on the PS5 with gorgeous landscapes, detailed cities that immerse players in its beauty and ridiculous brutality. The dynamic score that complements the epic scope of the game just enhances the emotional depth of the story. This installment is not just a game, but it is an epic saga of loss, betrayal, redemption, redefining the franchise and inviting players into a vividly realized world where every choice has profound consequences. Square Enix, they hit it out of the park with this latest entry, and if you don't take anything else away from this list, stop what you're doing, go to Amazon, go to your local GameStop, heck, go to Best Buy, pick up Final Fantasy XVI, and thank me later.
Well, it's time for the final count. We had 5 joint picks, which were Ratchet and Clank, Miles Morales, Astro's Playroom, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. Shockingly, I didn't put Final Fantasy on the list. That's all James, who's surprised there. But there were a lot of good picks, but only 5 spots were left. Ultimately, more of my games made the cut. PlayStation is kind of my thing.
As much as I always want to win, I'm okay letting Liv have this one because Final Fantasy XVI will now forever be the number one game on the PlayStation 5. You heard it here, so it's the truth.
Unconfirmed. That's all I'll say on that. But thank you for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the top 10ers. Did your favorite PlayStation 5 game make the cut? Did you want something to be higher than Final Fantasy 16? Let us know in the comments what you think of our list, or if you don't think Final Fantasy 16 should be number 1. Next week, we will be discussing our top 10 worst video games.